protection and confidentiality.
Yes.
Once they identify 5, 10, 15, 20 students who are under stress, they should not be stigmatized, they should not be subjected to punishments or any kind of negative impact on their life. That is another concern that bothers me to bring this concept in out and open. And these are the two reasons why I'm not I'm not promoting it into Google app or iPhone app, etc. I'm not opening it to public at all at this point of time
Right.
until we are very clear what
Clear.
we
Right.
want the universities to commit, how to
Are
move.
we recording the session, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
So actually, it's I think it is a very good initiative, and sir, I think we have to have to take first of all feedback from all those universities.
Yes.
Then only you can proceed for global.
I think step by step we will
Step-
move forward. That's not a problem. I mean, every kind of new beginning has challenges. These are the challenges, and we are in no way we are in no capacity to control the action of others. But when you compare that having the tool and not having the tool, there are certain definite advantages. At least sometimes some students, some teacher will know what's happening in life of a student. Okay,
Right.
so I think it's 10 o'clock and welcome everybody. Welcome Ashish, Nikhil, Vinayak, Sanjay, and Milind. Welcome my collaborative team from KJ Somaiya Institute. This is Amresh Srivastava from Mansik Shakti Foundation, and I am going to talk to you about 2, 3 very important and short message, and that's the purpose why I announced this meeting today. There may not be, because it is a weekday and 10 o'clock is a very difficult time for anybody to join such meeting. However, I'm going to put it on my YouTube and they will have access to the conversation that we are holding. Last 2, 3 years, me and my about 20 colleagues in an expert group have been thinking and churning over dealing with the issue of students' mental health problem. I would rather put it that students' challenges, and we all know that there are difficult times, and these students suffer a lot in number of ways. If I sum up into one line, that whatever be their challenges, all the challenges present with psychological symptoms. You have problem of money, you have problem of food. The first thing you feel is that you get worried, and this worry gets compounded and develops into many other kind of syndrome in individual's life. So thank you very much for supporting us. And we all need to be congratulated in formation of Mansik Shakti Foundation, which is a non-governmental company and registered under Indian Government's Companies Act Section 8. And it will function no matter who is there and who is not there. I think the work will go on, and our one-line mandate is to develop and extend support, facilitate awareness in student mental health field, and find out better methods how to deal with their challenges. So let me share my slide and begin a formal presentation which will tell us much more. Can you hear, can you see the slides, please? Can you? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, it is visible. Yeah.
So today is 10th of May, and I hereby take the privilege of announcing availability of digital mental health technology and a mobile app, and we call it notensionforstudents.com. It is well structured, is available in form of a website as an Android app as well as an iOS. And let me put it on record that the fundamental work to develop this technology has been done by my colleagues in Tejas Somaiya Institute of Technology, team led by Milind and Sheetal, and which consists of 4 bright graduate students, which is a trend setting in the country, because normally we do not have many instances of research in graduate studies in India. However, if it is a small beginning, and I hope that our collaboration will grow brick by brick and will expand one day into major thrust areas of scientific innovations. So this team has worked for last about a year and a half to struggle with my ideas of how to develop the tool, how to computerize it, how to do data collection, and how to transform it into a mobile application, as well as how to do the coding for algorithm that we had developed. I'll come back to it, and thank you very much, everybody at the University of Somaiya Technical Institute. Much appreciate your help. So as we say, everyone is aware about mental health challenges of students, but everyone wants to ignore, disbelieve, and live in denial, and achieve the goals which they have set for themselves. No matter what, their objective must be completed, whether you become sick, or you become tense, or you become sleepless. That's a very different position. Our parents, teachers, people in society expect every student to cope with all kinds of challenges and perform. This philosophy of 3E, education, employment, and education, employment, and empowerment, the way it is being intertwined in our country is very unique. The system of education, expectation of parents, expectation of society, and the repercussion on young boys is of a phenomenal dimension. Most people, to my understanding and what evidence says, live in denial. They are overstricken with fear of stigma, and their level of awareness about the issues of psychology and human behavior is not that high as we expect. Society has become complex, though it has moved on economically, but it has come with a very negative repercussion on human behavior. So are parents aware about the complexity of the problem? That's one issue which should bother everybody. Do they not want to think about the denial and take calculated risk that they have been taking so far? Will they ever like to assess the capacity of students and become more judicious? That's the question which is for every parent and teacher to think about. I hope they become enlightened. And in that sense, psychological materials like self-assessment, psychological tools, a guide for parent, and empowerment for students, they all are aware about it, but its implementation is a problem. Secondly, coming to psychiatrists, the general perception in society is that psychiatrists are doctors for sick people. Well, that perception must change. That's not fact. They represent distinguished expertise for predictability, prevention, and optimization of human behavior, function, well-being, relationship, and productivity. If I put it very differently, there are many rooms in our house, and I keep only very sick people only in one room, and I meet their relatives in the next room. All other rooms in my house are occupied by people who are perfectly normal, and they need discussion and help maybe relationship, maybe performance, maybe career choice, maybe interview, maybe personality development, maybe adding spiritual values. So the whole concept of mental health, the way it is being propagated, there was a time that main job of this profession was to deal with people who are too sick. But today, they are equally in the business of prevention of mental disorders and promotion for mental health. So let's focus on the life of students, which has enormous challenges. They have challenges maybe in form of
सर आपको सिस्टम पे नहीं ज्यादा अच्छा है सिस्टम के पास बैठेंगे आप
Can you mute please at your end, because I don't want to mute from this side. We all are aware about the kind of challenges our students face. And we're also aware about the numbers of mental disorders that is prevalent in students. Maybe you may call it 7%, 16%, but the fact is that large number, that is about 33, 34% of students suffer from stress. About 20% have complaints about depression. More than 12,000 students died due to suicide every year in our country, a matter of a great concern. That to convey a point, we become aware about mental health issues only when somebody dies and we read the news in the newspaper next day. These are some of the challenges of what is behind the scene. Well, if you divide the population and see who are these candidates, who are these students, so we will find that there are some students who are vulnerable to develop problems. The vulnerability may be biological or psychological or social or a disadvantaged situation, whatever. But they are vulnerable. They are not the same as other 90%. Then there is a segment of people who is definitely at risk for developing a mental health condition. For example, somebody whose father has depression, somebody whose mother had developed depression after giving birth of a child. Such students will be in the group of at-risk condition. Then there are students, the people who will have symptoms, but the symptoms will not qualify for a diagnosis. It is sub-threshold degree of symptoms, very mild, but it's very disabling. People suffer. For example, if there is perpetual hopelessness persisting for 2 months in any candidate, that's not normal, but that is also not depression. It's merely hopelessness, loneliness, worthlessness, etc. Then we have a definite percentage of people, say about 12 to 13%, who definitely have a kind of mental disorder. So if we see the student population, we can divide into different. Now, one may have the approach that we will address the issue only when somebody develops full-blown illness or develops a problem which can be diagnosed as depression by psychiatrists. But no, that's not the correct position. The correct position is to deal with the risk, minimize the risk, prevent the problem, add value to development of mental health component, and increase the life satisfaction of every student. That's the approach that is valid and must be.
There are people उनके शुरू से ही बचपन से ही नहीं लगता है it can be with anyone
Kindly, can
बचपन से
you
ही
keep
सिर्फ
your
करने लगता है चीजें।
audio on mute, please? So the approach should be not only the identification and prevention, identification and treatment of a mental disorder, but promoting mental health, adding positivity and increasing the positive content of mental health, and diminishing all risks is the objective. Now, how can we do that?
हमारे पास है लगा
That's the issue.
और कुछ चाहिए नहीं उसमें का मत लो थाली
how do we navigate challenges of students' life? What do we do? Last about a year, I have been traveling, though I have been dealing with the younger population for my life, for lifelong, ever since I started my profession. Dealing with young people, I was dealing with students when I practiced in Mumbai. When I went to England, I was given the responsibility of managing student mental health department in the Brunel University. When I went to Canada, I developed a different kind of program. First episode, our early intervention program in Western Ontario University at London in Canada. So, but still, last 1 year, I have been, and with the support of my dedicated group, visiting a number of institutions and talking to professors, vice chancellors, students to have the ground feeling what really is the issue.
Advisory council to the PM ने दी है, उसके अनुसार
So the issue that we understood is the professors telling us that, doctor, what you say is right, but how do we know? How do we approach? They all are willing to take some measures. They all feel that the available arrangement of just having a counselor in the institution may not be adequate enough. Mainly because stigma is so prevalent that even if a student develops depression in the same institution, he does not visit the counselor of the same institution because of the fear. And they keep on running around to find some other resource of help. Now the issue comes that, can we have an alternative mechanism? And yes, we thought of developing something to empower the students and try to explore, is there a method which can be given to the students and they can find out themselves whether they are having any risk, whether they are having any illness, whether they have any stressful situation or not. We began by developing a group of experts. My colleagues from Sion Hospital, Dr. Nilesh Shah, Omkar Naik, Avinash, many of them, and Dr. Dalal in Lucknow, Sujit Kar, and so many of my colleagues. I'm so thankful to each one of them who participated in discussion and added value to development of psychological tools. We had a number of meetings, development of draft, review, etc. And we then came up with structured questionnaire, about 10 questionnaires. These are divided into 4 groups. The group 1 is about stress. So there are 2 questions which deal with how much is the stress and what is the source of stress. Group 2 deals with the risk and mental health. Is there a symptom? Is there a risk? Is there a psychopathology? And what are the risk factors? Group 3 deals with mental strength, where we measure positivity, resilience, level of functioning, and mental well-being. And the last group, there are questions about finding out non-cognitive predictors of success. Right now, the questionnaire about 3 groups were developed, and they have been tested in the field rigorously on more than 500 subjects, and we did the statistical analysis and found it quite valid, and it was very encouraging. And then we thought of transforming it into a digital component so that it can be given to students and which will empower them to test their own situation if they believe in the concept. This trial was done in Somaiya Institute. The analysis was done at IIM Mumbai and shared the data. Now I'll come to show you what does it look like. So let me change the presentation. I'll stop here and start another one so that I can show you what the app looks like.
Sorry, sir, can I request you to mute all and one shot from your end and only unmute yourself because many people are on unmute.
Yeah, I hope that they can do it because I didn't want to do it from this side,
It's okay, sir. It is for the well-being of all. So go ahead, please, and do it.
So many icons and buttons going on. And so I expect that every participant, my request is to keep yourself on mute and so if you log into mansikshakti.in, you will see this screen. Now here we have two versions of psychological tools. One is research version, which is with the Samaya Institute where the work is going on. Here, if you click on right side, you will see the details about the test. And you can move on by filling the details to these kind of questionnaires. A boy can complete, it takes about 20 to 25 minutes. These questions are, as I described, grouped into three different subgroups. The first one tests about stress, the second one about risk and mental health condition, and the fourth one about resilience, positivity, and mental health. Now, here, the app can be downloaded. It is an Android app, so you have to go on your phone and you can click the button and you can download it. I will show you afterwards how does it look like. So this is about the research version, and it is going to remain. We are talking to different institutions, inviting them to get into collaborative study. This will go on for next 1 year, and we hope to collect a database of about 4,000 students to study it more thoroughly and check and recheck that we are not going wrong in deciding the way we decided the algorithm, the default algorithm, that what is mild, what is moderate, what is severe, what is high stress, and what is low stress, etc. Now, the version which is ready to be given to the universities is this one. So when you go on this website, we call it No Tension for Students. This is the icon. One has to register. When you register, you will see the screen like this. You go here. The website is with a lot of information. You can go on the page about us and you will come to know. You go on the page and you will come to know all possible detail, why the project is necessary, what are the nitty-gritties, what are the ethical guidelines, how we have developed it, what are the criteria, etc. You will also have the facility to read more about what is the validity of self-assessment, what is the science behind it, and what's going on. So here you can start the test. You say agree and submit. And you will come to the three groups of tests as I described. One has to log in and start. After about 20 minutes, when you have been able to complete it, you can download a report from here, or you can go on the home page. You can go here and download the report. I will show you a model report which we generally get into this when we Let me share the report here. Are you able to see the PDF now? Seem to be. How do I- Anyway, maybe I will send a copy into the. I will attach a copy which you can see. The report comes out as it describes the confidentiality and tells you what is the stress level, is it significant, are there risks or no. But thereafter, the main issue is what can be done. So we define the pathway, and in the recommendations here, if we go to the website of and we see recommendation, we have said that the first thing a student needs to do is to decide to speak, believe in himself. So there are details about how to establish effective communication. The second recommendation remains that the best resource is the family. The students who would identify that there is problem, they must reach out to the family, that is parents, and open up and talk about it. The third most important pathway is an effective intervention and support comes from friends, peers, and significant others. And they all are aware. There is no question that this resource is not available. Peer support is as much effective as support given by any kind of first stage psychological intervention. Then if there is a need to talk to someone immediately, we have said that we are not in the business of creating mental health services, but we have an excellent service going on from the government of India, that is Telemanus. And I'm surprised to know that not many people are aware about it. This is a service of 24/7 helpline 14416, which is available and is functioning in 30 cities in our country. Is managed by Ministry of Health with support from NIMHANS Bangalore and with technology support from Indian Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. It's one of the fantastic service that has been developed. There are regular training updates of professionals going on. I'm fully aware about because I know the faculties who are involved into this. And I must congratulate the government for starting this facility, especially about after COVID, the need for establishing connection was so very high. Recently, they have published the data of 500,000 contacts that they received so far. So if a student identifies or a parent identifies that there is a need to talk, they can either dial 116 or have another helpline which may be prevalent in their own city. Then there is the issue of mental health education, know more about mental health as well as about mental illness. So in the website itself, say here, we say know about your results, and you have about 50 challenges which are defined, and there will be audio and video courses available here. Like, for example, you will have access to a PDF which will discuss the issue of coping. Sorry, and in future you will have about 20 to 30 minutes video presentation so that a student can understand what the challenge is. When we say that you practice self-development, what we mean is that here is a booklet which is available for download. Everybody can download, read more about it. There will be video courses, video-based courses to define and how to enhance self-development, etc. So there are a lot of other these mechanisms which are involved. When the question comes, connect with a counselor. So here there is some difficulty that we do not want to appoint a counselor or provide counseling services. They all are available in every institution. We have defined and given the information about availability of counselor in cities by association of counselors, etc. And the best counselor is your family physician. I mean, one should never ignore or underestimate that. The first crisis manager is your teacher. So it's the question of your determination to open up and talk rather than where is the counselor and where is the psychiatrist and where is the psychologist. That's not the issue. The issue is, are you willing to open up and talk about your problem? That's the issue. We must distinguish. If a stigma is the issue, that any number of mental health professionals are going to be unused, unmet. They're not going to be of any use if a student has decided that it is shame to talk to a psychiatrist. The major barrier is breaking this ice for getting ready to talk about these problems. And if somebody is, as per report, the recommendation is meet a psychiatrist, then we have provided resource how to get a psychiatrist, what is district mental health program. It is available in every district. Every district now has a medical school, and every medical college has a department of psychiatry. So the network of our policy has been to utilize the existing resources of mental health care and treatment available in the country and community, and promote those who are underutilized. For example, voluntary sector, voluntary mental health organization, voluntary sector, etc. So now this is the app. It will be available from now onwards for first 100 users so that we can have feedback mechanism. You can freely email it to me and let me know what do you feel. We have made some more advancement in this connection. One was that we have marked it open, and our approach is to meet different governors of different states who are chancellor for the universities. And I am privileged that I had this opportunity in Jaipur, and I met the Honorable His Excellency Governor and requested him and given the technology in his hand that you can use it the way you want. Similarly, we also had the occasion of meeting Honorable Shri Ramesh Bais, Governor of Maharashtra. Last evening, our group of members, researchers, Dr. Shah from Sion Hospital, Sheetal Jagta from KJ Somaiya Institute, we all were privileged to be received by Honorable Governor. And we similarly talked the same thing. He patiently heard us and gave his version of question and how he can help us. And it was appreciated, and it is left to be seen how people use it. So it's going to be freely available without cost in hands of government sector and the universities. We will open it to private sector after about 6 months when we have seen how it is being used. The caveat, why my concerns are that the institution who want to use or anyone who wants to use must also take the responsibility for managing the risk. If I am a teacher and I have 50 students in my class and I tell boys, do this test, I must be mentally ready that if 5 of them have difficulty, how am I going to sort it out? After you come to know that somebody is at risk, to leave that risk unattended is unethical, is unacceptable. So I'm still in the process of how I can tighten the corners of the instrument and make sure that those who are identified can get the help they want. So here, this is our team, and I think I should stop here and have some time for question and answer if people have any. So yeah, this is the time. Thank you very much for your patient listening. The mobile app and technology and website is available now. It's so those who want to use it, please write to me. Thank you. So we have Uday Matrola. Yeah. Any questions which can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So if there are no questions, then we'll close. If there are questions, we will respond.
Yeah, can you hear me, Amrish?
Yes, I can. Hi, Ashok, welcome.
Yeah. What I wanted to know was that for a school level program,
Yes,
suppose we want to screen maybe a batch of class 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 students.
right.
We give them access to my e-library and to my computer labs,
Yeah.
and they all sit in and fill in their data. Can we collectively get data from the school?
Yeah, Ashok, you remember, I do remember our discussion about doing screening in adolescent and children. And we are, you see, people below 16 are a very different set of population.
Yeah.
These tests have been tested in the age of 16 to 25.
Okay.
I am in discussion with my colleagues in the field of child psychiatry because they are the expert, and one has to be very, very sensitive to put what kind of questions to frame. My suggestion is that these tests are valid for people who are touching 16. So
Okay.
give me some few more months, Ashok, and I'll come up with the answer of your question, and you will have it in your hand in next few months' time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are more for university students, college students.
No, this is 16 to 25. Yes. So when in 12th standard, when the boy is going out, it is best to administer after the exams. But hey, what are you going to do? Let us see how you are.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Nice.
Hello, sir. This
Hello,
is
hello.
Nikhil Mehendru. I am a faculty at the Institute of Management.
Right.
First of all, I must compliment you. I know how difficult it is to even create one scale. You've done so much. Sir, I had a request, two requests I wanted to check. Number one, is it possible at some point for you or someone else to hold a small session or put up some videos on how to interpret these reports? Because often when students are shared, they get this report, we may interpret it in our own way, but that may not necessarily be the right thing. I have a few more questions, but I'll pause for your response.
Thank you very much. It's a wonderful question, and I really expected it. We are struggling with this. What language to use, what code to write, what numbers to give, because everybody will have a different kind of interpretation. We have tried to be very clear and candid to not give any numbers, not divide the population that you are 20 out of 30 or 20 out of 100, etc. No, we have developed an algorithm which interprets all entire data in totality and comes up with 4 things. One, you have significant level of stress, or you do not have significant. You have you have certain challenges, and you have certain mental health symptoms or mental health risk. Based upon these three criteria, we recommend continue to have more information about mental health or do some self-development reading or courses or try to connect with a counselor or try to connect with a clinical psychologist or try to connect with a psychiatrist or a doctor. And we have defined in the website that how do you get there. We did not want this report to be left to interpretation by their own perception and wisdom and knowledge of the person, and wanted to be very, very objective. See, this is the difference. There are many self-assessment tests available in Western countries. You go and do it, you get a report that, okay, your depression score is 20 out of 30. I don't know then what to do. That's what the issue. So I wanted to neutralize the questions emerging from the test. I don't know whether how much I have succeeded. I suggest that please try the scale yourself and see what questions come up in your mind. We will jointly work and improve it.
So what I hear you say is, so that they understand the so what or the impact based on your research and thresholds,
Yeah.
you are giving them just the qualitative assessment in terms of indicators rather than a score.
Right.
And therefore, what is it that they can do? Okay, then the second follow-up question.
No,
taking-
I agree to put the video. They will have a video on what does it mean. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the second question is in continuation to the earlier question. If at all an institution wants many students,
Right.
for example, hundreds of students walk into the campus each year. Now we understand this data is extremely confidential.
Right.
But let us assume that we just want to capture the name of the institution or the year or some mechanism and get a overall dashboard, not student wise, in the sense we don't want the identity to be revealed, but just in case we can come to know that these 2 or 3 or 4 seem to be the top areas that we need to work on, then we can create areas where we can do some intervention at the institute level. So is it possible to get
Yeah.
that kind of reports?
I'll get. You see, the two are different questions. One is what is our foundation's mandate is more research in mental health for about students. That's the question. The second was whether we can empower the students. And here in your question, we are trying to connect two. We are fully aware and we promote that any institution will have any research methodology to be developed. We will be part of it. If they want, we can develop the question, we can develop the methodology, we can tell how to get there to get answer of your question. But whenever we do research by analysis of existing data, our research question is not well framed and it cannot be answered then. So if we want to, suppose we want to know how many people get depression in a school in 12th standard. One way is to derive that from the available data that we will collect. And the second way would be to design a study to investigate this question. And I think I would go for the second. We are establishing collaborations and every institution is welcome. We don't charge any fee. We'll give them advice. We'll prepare your projects and tell you how to do it. That would be much better question rather than this is a mistake we have been doing in interpreting available data and trying to extrapolate it to population.
Fantastic. I really see your depth in rigor in methodology. Is it possible to have your contact details?
Yes, mansikshakti@gmail.com.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right, then thank you everybody for joining. And we continue to hold our webinar once in a month. So you will receive our circulation. Take care about yourself, promote Mansik Shakti and help us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.